Morning. Thanks for joining me this morning. My name is Lori Winslow and I'm with Rain or Shine Chalk Design, and I am an independent designer with Chalk Couture. This morning we have a really fun project that I've been waiting to do. I had a friend ask, when are you going to do some Christmas things? I'd really like to see some ideas that I might use for gifts for my family and friends. Good morning, Christy. Thanks for joining us. So this morning I'm going to show you our spinning bistro sign, and you can see that I've already gone ahead and put a little bit of work to get me started. I have a layered transfer with our Nutcracker. So our Nutcracker comes with two different designs. So the first transfer that you put down, good morning, Carol. I have a Christmas thing for you, Carol. I've gone ahead and done the first layer. So this is our Nutcracker transfer, and he is made of 3 different transfers. Good morning, Alicia. Thanks for joining us. Good morning, kids. So I've gone ahead and put the face on, and I've done it on both sides. This side is a little rustic, or more rustic looking, but I'm okay with that. If I didn't like it, I could just wipe it off and start again. This is our bistro spinning sign, and this is a Chalk Couture surface, so I can wash it off and redo it anytime. All right, so these are the 2 parts of one of our Nutcrackers, and these are the 2 parts of the other Nutcracker. So they're just a little bit different. Their clothing is just a little bit different. You know how all the Nutcrackers have different clothing. So let's get started. All right, so when you get these transfers, you can see there's little numbers. There's a letter and a number in the bottom corner, and it tells you what order to go in. So this one says, it's really small, A1 and A2. So A1 is going to lay right across, the face is going to lay right across the skin color. I used our Dune color paste for the face. You could easily use white or whatever color. I'd really like to try using it without a face color and make the face color the black. But I wasn't brave enough to try that this morning yet. All right, let's try and see what we've got. So when I'm doing this, I have to think about what pieces go where. So these are going to be buttons that are on his jacket. So you can see it's going to line up right over the top like that. This is going to be part of his fancy hat. So that's going to go right over the top of his hair. And then his teeth are going to line up right in here. All right, let's give it a try. I have not done one of these yet, so it's a new experience for me. So I will make sure I get these in the right order. That's A3. So you want A2 first. Okay, so I'm going to fuzz it. It's a brand new transfer, so I want to make sure I put some fuzz on the back so it doesn't stick too hard to my surface. I don't have to do anything else to my surface because it is a Chalk Couture surface. So I'm lining this up. I can use that shape right down there, and that helps me line it up nicely. It also has some registration points. So there are some little pieces, but they're actually kind of off to the side. Because I'm using the bistro spinning sign, I have a pretty narrow window for this. And it looks like I could have come down a little bit more. Like I said, I haven't done this transfer, so sometimes it takes a little experimentation. So it looks like I could have brought my whole thing down a little bit, but it'll be fine. And I can always redo it. Down just a little bit. My jacket would be down at the bottom, and my hat, I get to see the whole hat. So I'm going to miss a little bit of the hat. Oh well. So there's a large silk screen that's open here, so I just have to be aware that I'm going to get some little funky bubbles when I'm laying it down. And I'm actually pushing it right to the edge. Because these transfers are flexible, I can do that. I can just kind of crease it right into the edge. So, trying to remember what I was going to do for colors. I think I want a red jacket on one and a blue jacket on the other. So I think I'm going to go with the candy apple red. The shimmers would be pretty too. So we do have this shimmer. That would be nice. But I think I'm going to go with the more traditional bright colors. My red, it's been a while since I've used it, but it still looks pretty creamy. So if I thought it was too dry, I would just add a little bit of distilled water. I just have some distilled water in a spray bottle. And that would make it a little bit better. Make it a little more creamy so that it flows well. Right over the top of his jacket. Nice and smooth. And so I don't lose any of it. Taking the excess off, I want to watch for kind of like streaks. If you can imagine smoothing out concrete, they don't like to leave big lines and ridges in their concrete pattern, and you don't really want that in your Chalk Couture pattern either. Sometimes it's hard to get out every streak, but I just like to have a pretty smooth surface. All right, I'm going to lift this up so that we can see it and so that it can not get stuck and dry. And there. Nice, perfect pattern. I love it. All right, I'm going to grab a little pink. I didn't grab any pink. He's got his cute little cheeks. I'm going to grab a nice pinky color. Cheeks. Say to everybody, I know that for teachers in my building, today is their first day of school, so yay for you. I wish you strong internet connections and happy students who are happy to be back hanging out with you. And you know they're going to be happy to be hanging out with you. We know that. Our students all right, I think I am going to use the we have a gold, so we have a gold shimmer and we have the harvest shimmer, and I think I'm going to go with the harvest. I think it's a little I like that it's more yellow for the gold on his hat. And I'll use it for his buttons as well. I think it'll be a nice look. So I am going to go right up against the edge of mine. Let's see how well that works out. That I haven't tried, so that it's just like you trying it at home. When I've done something that I've done over and over, it's not quite the same, and I like to kind of recreate that feeling of someone at home who hasn't had a chance to try these out. They're not 100% perfect, and that's okay. Oh, I love those cheeks. Those cheeks are adorable. So take a quick look. I wish I had realized that I needed to scoot down a little bit, but I'll live. So we're going to need to dry this side a little bit, and then I'm gonna dry it, and then I'm gonna flip it over, and we'll work on the other side, the first layer, okay? So that we can make sure that we're not putting our sticky transfer onto something that's not quite dry enough. Well, how many of you think you would love to have the Nutcracker as part of your Christmas decor? I think he is just so stinking cute. Okay, we'll flip it over. Hopefully this face isn't too high as well, but it might be. So we'll save this one for the next piece, and I'm going to look at my numbers here. So again, it says this is B2, so I'm going to use it first. Hi Amy, thanks for joining us. I'm glad you're here this morning. We are working on the Nutcracker on the bistro spinning sign. So I will link these transfers and the sign. If you're a first-time user, a good way to do this might be to get the singles pastes in the Christmas colors. You could do a lot of signs with just those sample, the kind of sample colors. But like I say, a designer used the little sample packets. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Pastes look like this. So they are now making a sample packet that has 6 different colors. And a designer that I watched, she made 47 different small designs with one packet of paste. She wanted to see how far she could actually make it go, how much was actually in there, so she could tell her clients or her customers how much they could expect to be able to make with it. I was pretty surprised when she got to 47 of the little minis full designs. So I think you could, I couldn't guess how many of the guys you could do, the nutcrackers you could do, but you could do a lot with just those sample packets. And the cost of that is about the cost of a little more than one of our chalks. So that would be a great way to go if you were looking for, a good, reasonable amount of money to spend to be able to do some projects like this. So you'd save your money on the paste and you'd put more money into your signs, and you'd only need one transfer. So if you're looking for Christmas ideas, I think these are definitely a winner. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this jacket blue, and I'm going to do his hat blue as well. So that is the other cool thing about doing Chalk Couture, is you get to be the designer. You get to choose your colors. The best part of the whole thing is you can change it whenever you like. And if you're giving this away as a gift, I would tell the person that the design, it can come off. but it's not going to come off if somebody just walks up and touches it. It becomes a very, hard paste, dried paste, kind of like toothpaste that dries in your sink. It will come off, but you do have to give it a little bit of effort to come off. So even if they put it in their kitchen, I have a Chalk Couture sign right over my kitchen sink, and it gets splattered occasionally with water, and it doesn't hurt it at all. So just know that it's not something that's going to, it's not fragile. It can stand up to a little bit of abuse. To get it off, you can get it off. So I guess that's kind of the way I would let them know about it. And then the cool thing is if they wanted to, they could change it up, or you could offer to change it up for them if you were going to get another sign, or they can just put it away with their Christmas stuff and use it next year. Open screen, and you can see I'm going to miss some of his hat. It's the first time I've used the transfer, and I didn't really line it up down far enough. But I think it's going to be a good transfer. I still think it's going to look nice. And there is a little design. Well, there probably isn't room for the design, but that's okay. Oops. Let's pull this up and let's still get those cheeks, those rosy cheeks. All right, I like the hat. It looks pretty good. And let me find my pink. Rosy on his cheeks. I think that's my favorite part of the whole transfer. Are these rosy cheeks. They just turn out so cute. Put it back in my pot so I don't have to wash it down the sink. We have another really cute little nutcracker guy. All right, I'll hit that with the dryer so that when I turn it over to work on the other side, I'm not touching and smearing it. If you guys have any questions, just put them in the comments. I can get to them. We have a few people watching who have done Chalk Couture, so they might be able to answer your questions too. The chalk dries really fast. It is a natural chalk. So just as chalk is dry and crumbly, this chalk is also, it dries very quickly. Okay, so this was our A guy. So you can see his gold buttons are going to line up right in these spaces. We're going to get his face on there. Little swirl that we could put that reminds me of the Nutcracker, all the decorations and things, so we might squeeze that onto the bottom. That would be cute, and it would make it look like there's a purpose for that space down there. So I will get this transfer removed. Sometimes that's the hardest part, is just getting it to decide to release from its backer. Okay. So I am going to fuzz. If you don't have a Chalk Couture fuzzing cloth, that's no problem. Just get a bath towel. You just want something that'll put a little bit of fuzz on the back of your transfer. Now that we have chalk on here, we don't want it to stick really tight either. We don't want it to pull up that chalk. So we have done what we can do. We have let it sit. That's what we're hoping for, is that everything's going to line up nicely. And we've let it sit so it's not going to pull up our paste. I'm just going to look and see if it looks like we've got a pretty good center on those. You just kind of have to take a leap of faith. If you don't have the registration marks, even the registration marks are a little tricky, I'll just be honest. Lining up those registration marks is not the easiest thing. I'm not a pro at that. Okay, so it looks to me like we have I think this is his hair as well. So we have hair. And I do have a black background, so I am going to just do black. But I think I will do my shimmer black so that it gets a little bit of contrast to that. So this is, oh, that's black velvet. Where is my, there it is. So my shimmer shadow is this color. So you can see it just has a little, well, maybe you can see, it has just a little bit of a glitter look to it. So I'm going to use that for his face. And then we'll put gold on his buttons down here. That same yellow gold that we did on the other. So I can see a little bit of a bubble. I want to try to get those bubbles out. What happens is it just leaves a little bit of air between the screen and your surface. And then you just kind of get a weird looking, you still get paste on your board, but it just has kind of a weird looking raised shape if you have a bubble. So you can go back down. It happened on my face color when I was doing that before I got started with you guys. And so I just laid it back down. After I had done it, I could see a little bubble looking shape. So I just laid my screen back down and I just went over that space one more time without the bubble, and it smoothed it out. So there are a few little tricks that you learn as you're working with Chalk Couture. Something happens and you're not quite sure what happened or why it happened, feel free to message me. We can chat about it, and maybe together we can figure out what happened. I am not an expert. I am learning as I go every day. I'm just thinking that needs to be white. His eyes need to be white. So I will stop running over that with black because that's not going to be helpful. And I will get the white. So I might have given him a little bit of black, a little bit of a black eye. As well. So what I would do is I would, after I pull up my transfer, I could just grab that and try to pull that color off. I could just use a Q-tip with a tiny bit of water and see if I could get that little bit of black to come off. Or I can, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and go over it with white and see how it looks. If I don't like the way it looks, then I can deal with it. Sometimes it's best to deal with it while it's wet, and sometimes it's best to let it dry and then just see what you can actually see. Just kind of play around with. You know that already. Crafting is definitely not precision, something you have to just enjoy trying different things. Okay, so I've got some white, and this is my bright white. I'm going to use it on his eyes. Carefully noticing that we needed white there. Right there. Maybe I did need black there. Let's lift it up and take a look. Now I've just kind of convinced myself maybe I'm wrong. Maybe white's not the color. Good morning, Linda. Thanks for joining us. Let's see. I think it's okay with white. What do you think? Do you think it should have been white or black eyes? Tell me in the comments. Was I supposed to do white or black? What do you think? All right, let's put some gold on these buttons. Linda, we are doing a for Christmas. What turns out. Votes. Do you think his eyes were supposed to be black or white? Tell me so that when I do the next one, I can try it the other way. If you think it was supposed to be black, ooh, I love him. He is so cute. Goodness, you guys, I just love him. What do you think? Oh, he's got to be in your collection, Christy. You think it should have been black? I think you're right. I think the black eyes would stand out more. So what I'm going to do is I will just let it dry, and then I can go back over when it's dry, lay it back down, and then just go over it with the black, and it'll be fine. Amy, you think black too? I think you guys are right. That was my first instinct, and then at the last second I went, oh no, those are big. I think that the pupil is going to be the little light color, the little, I don't know what you call it, little speck in the eye. I think that's supposed to be white. No. Okay, let's let that side dry. We'll flip it over. I do like the sparkly for his hair. That turned out pretty cute. All right, now this side, as you can see, the face is a little bit, I used the transfer on this side, and it's a big screen transfer. You can see this whole area is open. So I got a really nice print on this side. Then I didn't clean it. I just put it straight down. And in the past, I haven't had a problem with that. But I noticed the dune it's really creamy, but it dries really quickly. So I don't know why some of our colors react differently, but I'm pretty sure it was because the paste just dried in that transfer really quick. So I got kind of a muddled print. If you didn't like that, of course, wash it off and do it again. Just make sure that when you take your transfers off, when you take them off and you wash your transfer, just make sure it's really dry when you go to put it back down on your project. The microfiber side of this cloth is great for getting that moisture out of your transfer. If you don't have this cloth, if you have any of those, I don't know if you guys buy those microfiber towels. I have a couple. I don't like them for everything, but there's a few uses that I like the microfiber towels for. And drying things is one thing that I like them for. Drying the surface of some things. All right, let's do his face. I hope you and your family are safe. In our area, the fires, I don't know what the status is of those fires, but the fires have been really bad. here, and I just hope that you are all safe. Hope your family's safe. Line it up. So the nice thing is I can see through this transfer. So as I'm putting it down to line it up, and this area where the teeth go is a real good spot to line up. So I can look at the edge of the face, and I can see those teeth, and I can really get a nice idea of where to lay it down. So then I'm just going to work my way to the edges. A little bit at the top. I did center this a little bit off. It's my first time to use the transfer. I should have shifted everything down just a little bit. I tried to measure from the top and thought that I had a pretty good idea of my measurements, but somehow I goofed it up a little bit. But that's okay. I do like this little nutcracker-esque swirl, so I may put it at the bottom and kind of take up some of that space so it doesn't look like such an error. So I know these are going to be gold. This is part of his jacket, and this is going to be gold. That's part of his hat. So I'm going to do gold, and I'm going to do black, and now I know that the eyes need to be black, so I will make sure and use black, and we'll be able to see what the black should look like for his eyes. So I'm happy that it's two-sided because I can enjoy how it was supposed to look. I'm just making sure that I don't have any bubbles. I'm noticing there's, and I think it's because of this narrow space and I'm having to pull things up, I am getting some bubbling in my transfer. And I think it's just because I'm trying to constrict it into this small space. Normally bubbling is not a huge issue if you have a bigger space. All right, let's get gold on his, I think these are called the epaulets, I think. Epaulette. I'll have to look that word up. It's been a long time since my spouse was in the military. My kids are there, but I'm not there every day helping them get ready and that sort of thing. See uniform on. It does not take very much chalk to do each project. Pull that up so that it doesn't dry and pull it out. Ooh, I love that. Okay. I looked at different nutcrackers. I didn't see any nutcrackers that had gray hair, but I was thinking it would be really fun to do this shimmer frost or the shimmer silver for his hair on this black. I think it would really pop, but because I didn't see any nutcrackers that looked like that, I'm not going to do it, but it might be fun. If you're giving this as a gift, it might be fun if it's an older person, or if you just want to razz someone, if they're maybe a little bit older than you could give them a gray-haired nutcracker. That might be funny. Or maybe a red-haired nutcracker if that person is a redhead. Lots of things you can do. Lots of fun ways to go. Eyes are going to look awesome now. I will go back on the back and I will do black eyes, so I'll post a picture later today of how that looks with black eyes instead of the white on the other side. face looks good. I think it's just going to take me a second to do this hat, so I think I'll go ahead and do it without pulling up the black. Just do it all at once. Oops. We do have a spinning board underneath, so you do have to kind of hold it underneath. Okay, thank you. I was putting epaulette in there for a second, but I think, yeah, I was thinking it would have the T at the end, epaulette. You're a military boy in your family. I remember my husband getting ready, you know, for inspections and things like that. He always wanted his stuff, you know, he was an officer, so he wanted his stuff to look perfect all the time. And so I remember learning about all of that so I could help him have everything ready. Here we go. Love him. He's cuter than I thought he was going to be, guys. He is just adorable. I love these guys. Let's look at, here's our blue soldier and our red soldier. Yeah, we definitely have to fix those eyes. Those need to be black, but I still like him, and I will go back and fix his eyes. All right, let's see if this is dry enough so that we can put this Nutcracker swirl. If you've gone to the Nutcracker, you've no doubt seen how they go all out with their decorating, and this little embellishment makes me think 100% of going to the Nutcracker. My daughter-in-love, and granddaughter, we went to the Nutcracker last year. That was the first time I've actually been to the Nutcracker. I've seen it on TV and things like that, but, well, actually that's not true. That's the first time I've seen the big production of the Nutcracker. We went to some local Nutcracker, but not quite the same as going to the big, big production in Seattle. The tickets, and if you haven't done that, it is really worth the effort and the cost. Let's see. Bright color. Let's do the silver. Let's do the silver. But that's the beauty of these projects, is if you're doing that, you get to choose your colors. What do you think you would put? What colors would you do the soldiers? If you could do any colors, what color would you do their uniforms? Would you do red and blue? Or would you do the shimmers? You could choose. It kind of makes that empty space. Oops. Looks like I lost you guys for a second on my internet. So I got the flourish down here. I like it. Looks like there's a purpose for that little missing piece. So I've got one last thing. We'll put this last little flourish. We'll do it again on this side. And then we'll be done for the day. Teaching today. I am in meetings today with my families. So I'm excited to get to visit and have those important beginning of the year conversations with families. It's really one of my favorite times. I feel like I get to know the whole family, and that's definitely my goal. I teach the child, but I have relationships with the whole family. Not every family wants that, and that's okay. let's give it a look. There is our Nutcracker. I hope you like him as much as I do. I think I'm going to be over the moon for these guys. I think they are super cute, and I will fix his eyes and make them black. They definitely don't stand out enough in the white. So we'll give that a little fix. But I really like his kind of worn face. I like how it's not completely covered. So you might like that look, especially if it just makes me think of an old Nutcracker that's been collected and they're older. All right, guys, so Saturday was supposed to be our Board and Pillar Club. We are not going to have our Board and Pillar Club Saturday. We've had a terrible time being able to order. We haven't been able to get the things that we wanted. So if you want to order the things, they're supposed to be available between the 14th and the 17th. I will let you know when they come available. If somebody wants to do the Board and Pillar Club this month still, we will do it. I can order those when they come in, and you can as well. Or we can just scooch to next month, and we can decide to either do the one that we couldn't do, or we can totally choose a different design. So my goal behind that is to give you guys a way to do a project in Chalk Couture. We might want to even order the Nutcracker now that everybody has seen him. This is the Board and Pillar. So this is the one that we typically work on. But if you wanted to do the bistro spinning sign instead, now that you've seen it and how cute it is, you could totally do that. The only downside is this one can turn either way. It can go this direction, or you can remove it and you can make it stand this way. So it can go horizontal or vertical. That's why I like the Board and Pillar sign. It gives you a little more versatility. So we will be talking about those things more as the month goes on and we see what becomes available. I know the company is really sorry that they're having all of these shortages of the things that everybody wants. Of course, they're a company, so they want to have all of the products all of the time. So I know they're just as frustrated as we are. But we'll be patient, and we'll get through this difficult time of not having the things we want. Poor us. All right, guys, get out there and make it a great day. If you're a teacher, have a fabulous day. Give someone a hug that you get to see at work. Wear a mask. But anyway, have a great day, guys. Bye.